Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to talk about the biggest rack pull mistake. Before I get into this topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. If you need coaching, check out the link down below. I'd love to work with you. And don't forget, every Friday at 11 a.m. Every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, I'm here doing Massive Iron live on the YouTubes. All right, the biggest rack pull or block pull mistake, and that is pulling too far off the ground or pulling too close to your knees. Now, let me explain. When it comes to deadlifting, some of you guys are better suited for pulling a little bit off the ground. Maybe you have shorter arms. Maybe it's just better on your lower back. Maybe as a beginner, you're better off just pulling a little bit off the floor so you can save a little bit of the wear and tear and stress and pressure on your lower back and still build up those traps and that huge upper back. One thing we rarely talk about in this industry is that the rack pull or the block pull is a great alternative for beginners. You can move the weight up a little bit, you can save some pressure on that lower back, and you can still have all the good benefits that you get from a deadlift. Now, with that said, when we switch to a block pull or a rack pull, the tendency is people immediately switch from pulling to the floor to you'll see them pulling right about below the knee level. And this is a huge mistake. If you guys switch to a block pull or a rack pull, we don't want it to be dramatically different from a floor pull. It's probably a good idea to start 2 or 3 inches off the floor and work in that range, maybe 2 to 4 inches. Sometimes you could alternate between like 2 to 4 inches one week and then maybe a little bit higher, like 5 to 6 the next. And that's getting a little bit on the high end. But I would probably stick to a lower block pull or rack pull. This little advantage, this little leverage advantage is going to be a lot easier on your lower back. This little leverage advantage is going to be easier on your lower back. It's still going to be extremely taxing. It's going to tax your yoke, your upper back, etc. Moving to that high block pull or rack pull almost becomes like an ego lift. You're able to move a lot more weight. But is it as effective? I would argue no. It's certainly a good lift. It's certainly a lift that could have value in certain types of programs, but it's not a lift that I believe most of us should be practicing. When I was strongest at my deadlift, I would only pull from the floor every other week. I like to give my lower back a little bit of a break. And I think this is a good idea for nearly anybody. I mean, I don't really care what your experience level is. I don't think it's rarely a bad idea. I would pull from the floor one week, and then the other week I would pull either from a low rack or block pull or a moderate. Rarely ever would I pull right below the knee. The only time I would do that is when my lower back was extremely taxing or I just needed a mental break from floor pulling. If you do want to use this type of protocol, you can floor deadlift one week and you can block a rack pull the next. And when you block a rack pull, you could vary the heights, but I would vary them between 2 positions. A low position, 2 to 3 inches off the ground, and maybe a moderate position where you're looking 4 to 5 inches off the ground. Not a lot of variance, but certainly nothing that's going to pull the bar up close to right below the knee. Now, one bonus tip when you're rack pulling, we tend to pull it just like a deadlift, but there are slight differences. When you do a block pull or a rack pull, there's a chance it's going to feel heavier for you because maybe your quads are weaker or whatever the case is. This is not uncommon. I want to give you guys a tip because the leverages are a little bit different. When you pull a block or rack pull, don't just think about deadlifting up, but as you initiate that pull, think about pulling up and back, almost leaning back as you pull. The lift should feel a little bit better and you're still going to get the quality benefits of a floor deadlift. Not really much more to say, just avoid those really high, right below the knee rack deadlifts. And this can be a great option to save your lower back and to work into your programming. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.